That was the abbreviated version of the opening segment of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We had to cut it down by 5 seconds because we have such a busy show today, apparently. It is Friday, the 20th day of October, 2017. Happy Friday. If you stand on your tiptoes, you can see the weekend from here.
Did I hear a...
That was my phone again. That means we're streaming live on
Instant
Facebook.
messaging.
Yeah, no, it means we're streaming live on Facebook. We do that for the first segment of the show.
From our technical director telling you to stay on the script.
Dan Coots, Steve Hare, busy show for you today. Lots of sports to get to. Steve, I took a quick look at your news script. You got a lot of news.
We do have quite a bit of news.
Great visit from Congressman Dave Reichert at the Wenatchee High School Mariachi Music Room yesterday afternoon. We'll have a full story on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. That suspicious house fire on Walla Walla Avenue will be part of our news as well. Also, my guest today in two segments, our last Make a Difference Day profile, we'll be hearing from Pastor Matt from the Trinity Church and Father Osmar from St. Joe's Catholic Church. The Protestants and the Catholics are going to get together at Met Hal Park on Saturday the 28th and have a little get-together. Great conversation with those two wonderful gentlemen. That's the first guest segment. And then, because the Wenatchee Wild are in town for 2 games this weekend, Surrey and then Penticton tonight and tomorrow night, Arch Ecker will be in at about 7:45 this week.
Always fun to get Arch in this.
Arch is in a really good mood because he's a Dodger. And you're a Dodger, and for the first time in 29 years, the Los Angeles Dodgers have made it to the World Series. Congratulations to you.
And, well, maybe we'll be saying congratulations to you after tonight, huh?
I want it to happen so bad. I would be...
The Yankees would make it.
I would be out of my head with excitement if... I love the World Series anyway, and you know that. But if the Yankees and the Dodgers went at it in the World
it's something
Series,
special.
It would
really
be
is.
just incredible. But the Yankees have to get there first. We're not there yet. And speaking of championships, by the way, congratulations to the Wenatchee High School girls soccer team. They won the Big 9 championship for the first time ever last night. We'll have that in sports. And the Wenatchee High School slow pitch softball team won their respective championship as well. That's good news. So lots of winning all over the place today. It is 2 minutes after the hour on this Friday. Let's take you around North Central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. Steve, you and I have to guess with the 4 cameras that we rotate around. So you want to go ahead and take the first guess? What are we
I believe we're
today?
looking down from the heights.
That would be, yes, that would be the cross camera. That would be Wenatchee on your left and East Wenatchee on your right. See?
Dan always gives me the easy camera to pick.
By the way, very, very windy today, especially late this afternoon into the early evening hours, Steve, and then rain all day Saturday. In fact, Saturday is the kind of day you might want to make a lasagna or a chili, something like that. It's just going to be cold and rainy and raw tomorrow.
Well, our staff meteorologist, Grant Olson, will be doing a special report on what's expected to be a rather stormy weekend.
Yeah. It's
a lot of rain up on the Cascade Crest, I understand.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're going to have sunshine and then wind and then rain and then warm. It's all over the place. Good morning, downtown Wenatchee, looking to the south. That camera on the roof of the Cascadian building, looking back towards the cross camera. In the upper right-hand corner, you can actually see it, Steve.
I
You
can see it there.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And at my age, I'm easily disoriented, so...
all of these cameras.
Thank you for...
Courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet. Camera number, are we up to 3? I've lost track already, Steve. Monument Hill.
Monument Hill, looking at opportunities unlimited.
Beautiful Quincy. Good morning, Monument Hill. Look at that sky. Look at that beautiful sky. And finally, camera number 4 will take us to, that is Steins. That is Steins looking towards the Wenatchee Valley. So you can see the Wenatchee River there, Steve.
I can almost hear Bobby Goldsboro singing, you know, what was it, the greatest skies you've ever seen? Oh, that was Seattle. I'm sorry, that's right.
That was Perry Como. The bluest skies you've ever seen are in Kashmir.
Oh, my.
It's
like Jim Neighbors.
Jim Neighbors.
Yeah.
We're in a weird mood. You've got to be in a good mood because your Dodgers are in. So I know you're feeling good. And you got a big college game tomorrow. But one quick little personal note. Steve's also a big USC Trojan fan. You've got Notre Dame tomorrow.
Don't hold it against me, please.
You got Notre Dame tomorrow.
That's right. Big game.
So I'm sure, and that's tomorrow night, by the way. So I'm sure you'll be what you normally do on weekends, sitting and watching television. So.
Well, the Pac-12, the dynamic has completely changed after the two undefeateds getting beat last weekend. So.
Good news for the Huskies this weekend. They don't play. It's 4 minutes after the hour. Let's do your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. As we said before, it's a little bit of everything. Today...
A little bit sunny.
Yeah, it's going to be sunny, but it's going to be very, very windy. Here's your rundown. The wind will be picking up this afternoon. We'll be getting up to 15, 20 miles an hour in the afternoon, gusts above 30 at times. Tonight the clouds roll in, but the winds will stay with us for the most part after midnight is when the winds will be dying down. And then that will usher in yet another system. It's a low pressure system, and it's taking its sweet time getting here, which is why we're going to have a lot of rain on Saturday. Pretty much rain all day long. No wind Saturday, but a lot of rain. The chance of precipitation, Steve, tomorrow, 100%. So the National Weather Service is predicting we are going to get wet up to 1/4 of an inch possible on Saturday. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a good cabin day on Saturday. Sunday, we go back to more rain and a little bit of wind and a little bit warmer on Sunday. Not as wet Sunday as on Saturday. And then turn around, look at Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Highs above normal. Lots of sunshine. High pressure will rebuild on Monday. So again, to recap, Friday, sunny today, sunny and breezy. There's your Friday wind, Steve, as you can see there. That's the direction of the winds and how strong they're going to be in. This will be this afternoon. These are your Friday winds. And then if we switch to graphic number 2, it'll give you a very good idea of what we're looking for Saturday in the overnight hours into Sunday winds. Not as much in the Wenatchee Valley, but if you're heading to the east, the Spokane area, the Palouse.
Up on the plateau there, look at that.
Yep,
Or
very,
actually
very
to the south,
windy.
Ritzville, 31.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have yet another graphic, I believe. There's your rainfall totals, what we're expecting beginning today and going through Sunday. Again, most of this rain, Steve, as we mentioned before, will be on Saturday, spilling a little bit into Sunday. So 1/2 inch of rain total for us.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen the fall colors, they're not going to be around much longer.
Just do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Absolutely. Good advice from Steve. 6.5 minutes after the hour. Boy, do we have a bunch of news to get to. We'd like to keep you in the loop, and we have the best guy in the business to do that. His name is Steve Hare. In 1 minute, he'll fill your brain with Friday morning information. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CVCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CVCH respects that.
Some things are better slow. Internet is not one of them. With local Tel Fiber Internet, slow internet is history. Play movies and videos instantly in HD quality. Video chat without interruption. Download music or photos in seconds. And dominate in gaming with virtually no lag time, no matter how many devices are online. Experience gigabit internet. Call or visit LocalTel online to learn more.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Well, good morning and welcome to our Thursday news. I'm Steve Hare, and here's the top story to this hour. First of all, arson investigators were combing through the ruins yesterday of a residential structure fire in Wenatchee. Police and crews were called out around 5:20 in the morning to the fire, which was located at a vacant 2-story home in the 1500 block of Walla Walla Avenue, right across from the Bluebird warehouse. Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department describes for us what happened yesterday.
Upon arrival, fire crews determined that the fire had started in the boat that was parked outside the residence and then extended to the house. At this time, the boat is totally gone. It was basically consumed and melted by the fire. Fiberglass and fire get along very well once they start burning. The house itself has pretty decent structural damage. At this point, the fire has been determined to be suspicious, so it is under investigation. We would ask that people not be going down there. The road's relatively narrow there. There's a lot of commercial traffic with Bluebird fruit shippers right across the street and the other fruit warehouse basically next door to this last residence on that part of Walla Walla Street. And so just give crews room to work.
And again, the fire was put out in fairly short order. The name of the homeowner was not released, and luckily there were no injuries, but that probe continues today. Also in the news, Grant County authorities are calling this the largest drug bust in county history. Interagency Narcotics Enforcement Team, or INET, seized $1.2 million worth of narcotics and weapons this month, and it's thanks primarily to a traffic stop that was made last year in Moses Lake. It was back in October of 2016. A suspect was found with nearly 8 pounds of meth and heroin. Subsequent investigation led to an additional 7 warrants served, netting more than 25 pounds of methamphetamine, 7 pounds of heroin, and 40 pounds of processed marijuana. The recent raid and arrests come on the heels of an arrest earlier this month, where law enforcement officials seized 41,000 pounds of marijuana, 56 illegal firearms, and a large amount of cash throughout Grant County. Excessive speed was the cause of a two-car accident that sent 3 people to the hospital. This was on Wednesday afternoon near Quincy. Washington State Patrol reports that around noon, 20-year-old Lindsay Blackwell of Kashmir was attempting to turn off State Route 28 south onto White Trail Road when she crossed into the northbound lane and then struck an oncoming Peterbilt semi driven by 50-year-old Joseph Collier of Mabton, Washington. Blackwell, along with passengers Malachiah Blackwell of Kashmir and Alfonso Pena of Federal Way, were all injured in that crash. Again, a correction, that was yesterday afternoon. Transported to Quincy Valley Medical Center, Blackwell was charged with speeding. Meanwhile, coming soon to a mailbox near you, if you haven't already received it, ballots for the November 7th general election were mailed out yesterday in north central Washington. In Chelan and Douglas counties, voters will be deciding nonpartisan contests for several school board, city council, and special taxing district positions. Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall said there are currently over 20,000 voters registered in his county.
Well, we're hoping to get about 50%, but we'll soon know as the returns start coming back in. We'll probably see the returns coming pretty heavily starting next Monday.
Now, Duvall predicts a 50% voter turnout for Douglas County, but his counterpart in Chelan County ups that prediction to 70% on this side of the river.
Well, that's what I'm looking for. I'm thinking we'll get around 70% simply because virtually every school district, the cities are involved, and politics this year has been a little bit, let's say, exciting or excited. And therefore, I'm just thinking people are going to be a little bit more plugged in when it comes to their ballots, and they'll be sending them back to us.
And again, Auditor Skip Moore has over 43,000 registered voters in our county. Ballots must be mailed back to the auditor's office with a November 7th postmark. And if this is your first election, you can register to vote until October 30th, but only in person at your auditor's office. Well, there are 3 city council positions in Leavenworth that play this election, and our candidate profiles continue today. Well, focusing on position 4 seat, the 2 candidates are Carolyn Wilson and Jason Lundgren. Wilson is 67 years old. He's been a council member since 2011. She held the same position from 2002 to 2006 and has also served as mayor pro tem for the last 3 years. One of the causes Wilson has championed is free parking for Leavenworth citizens. She says her experience in city government is an asset in terms of learning state statutes and organizing city ordinances. Jason Lundgren is a 42-year-old. He's the executive director of the Cascade Columbia Fisheries Enhancement Group and was a former staff member for the State Recreation and Conservation Office in Olympia. Lundgren believes his work experience brings him in contact with diverse interest groups and stakeholders, and he hopes to apply that experience to problem solving on the city council. In fact, tonight on NCW Live Evening News, we will also have a highlight of 2 candidates running for Leavenworth City Council position number 5. Those candidates are Sharon Faye Waters and Gary Flanagan, so stay tuned for that. Also, Congressman Dave Reichert visited Wenatchee High School yesterday afternoon to present that group, Mariachi Wenatchee, with a special gift from the White House.
Now, we had over 300 people attend the concert, and it was, people were dancing and singing, and it was just a great experience. It'll be, as you all know, I have a little over a year left, and then I'm going to leave at the end of 2018. I'll leave Congress. This will be one of the highlights. I'm being honest with you. This will be one of the highlights of my congressional career, is to be with you. The visit to Washington, D.C., I'm hoping becomes an annual event, because it gives that continued opportunity for students As they graduate, they leave, right? New ones come up. So it gives those new students opportunities to experience the same thing that these kids did. And that is to visit the nation's capital, but not just visit the nation's capital, but be the center of attention for a moment in time, right? And perform. And they were the buzz on Capitol Hill on October 12th. As I said in my comments in presenting the flag that was flown over the Capitol on the day they performed, this will be one of the highlights in my career in Congress, the day they were there, because you just saw the happiness on their face and the pride in their talent, the pride in their team, the pride in their teacher, and the pride in their school and their city and their country, for that matter, playing the national anthem and having everyone stand and have their hand over their heart in Washington, D.C. was a special experience.
Boy, you have to be proud of Ramon and his troupe there, the Wenatchee, Mariachi Wenatchee. A lot of recognition, but deservedly so. They're doing a great job and really super ambassadors for the Wenatchee Valley, wherever they go.
Yeah, congratulations, kudos to the entire Mariachi Wenatchee program. I got my ballot in the
You
mail.
got your ballot, huh?
Came in yesterday. I was surprised when I got home from work. It was already in my mailbox. I have to hold this up so people can't see my address, but I'm ready to vote.
You're ready to vote, but you do it in person.
I
You don't do the mail-in.
I don't. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I go down to, in this case, because I live in Chelan County, I go to Skip Moore's offices there, the auditor's office, and they have the voting machines there, and I vote in person. It's the
And
only
that's
way.
always an option to you.
It's always an option, and it's they have to keep public. You know, I know we're vote by mail, but they have to keep it open legally for people who just want to drop in and vote at the auditor's office. And it's the only way you can get your I voted sticker.
Well, yeah, that's
You
true.
know,
That's true. And
so-
you always bring me one when you're.
Yeah, I
when
always
you're
do.
voting, yeah.
Quick little reminder, I got my ballot yesterday. Again, I live in Chelan County. By the middle of next week, if you haven't gotten your ballot, either from Thad Duvall in Douglas
Right.
County, or give them a call. They'll take care of you, because they want you to participate in the process as much as possible.
Exercise your political franchise, as they
Please.
say.
It is 17 minutes after the hour. Don't forget the news with Grant Olson will come your way tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with all the latest news and wrapping up the week that was here in the Wenatchee Valley. And don't forget, we have live football
right.
tonight at Lee Boftel Field at the Apple Bowl. It is homecoming, so if you're an alumnus of Wenatchee High School, it's your duty to be at the Apple Bowl tonight. The Wenatchee Panthers will take on the Moses Lake Chiefs. If you can't make it, you can watch the game live right here on the NCW Live channel.
Go Dodgers.
Dodgers are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Go Yankees.
They're in that
18
series.
minutes after the hour. When we come back, we talked about sports. We got a bunch of it and everything else you're used to. And don't forget our guests in the second half of the show. The first part, we'll be talking to Pastor Matt from Trinity Church and Father Usmar from St. Joe's Catholic Church. And then in the second part of the interview process, Arch Ecker will be in studio. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to check out our newest show on the NCW Life channel. We call it the 12th District. Each week, we'll be taking an in-depth look at various political issues that affect our area, our state, and the world. We'll be featuring local and statewide experts on the subject matter at hand. Please join us weekly for the 12th District with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Check your channel guide for times or go to ncwlife.com for details.
We've been in the cleaning industry for over 10 years, and we notice a need in the housing market for reliable, professional, and specialized cleaning and finishing company.
They come in with spunk and personality, a lot of energy, and they take pride in their business.
We offer a wide array of cleaning solutions, no matter how big or small the job. Anything from new construction to move-in, move-outs, we do it all. Give us a call today to see how we can help you with your cleanup.
And we are back on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 3 here in downtown Wenatchee. Let's do sports. First of all, the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from last night. Wenatchee shuts out Moses Lake on the pitch, 1-0. The Panthers win their first ever Big 9 regular season title. Congratulations. Ariano Escobedo's goal in the 61st minute was the difference. Cascade shuts out Omak 9-0. The Kodiaks are 13-0 on the season. Tenasket dispatched Manson. To the volleyball court last night, Wenatchee hosted Moses Lake. Came out a little ragged. The Chiefs led most of the first set, but then after a timeout, the Panthers straightened things out, went on for the 3-set sweep. Our own Eric Granstrom and Leanne Branham had the call right here on the NCW Life channel.
Wenatchee counters with Hallberg and a wicked hit at the net, but the counter by the Chiefs. Here's the set, and Hanneberg with the hits, and sprawling down was Wolfe. They get it back, though. Over the net does Wenatchee. Now there's a beautiful shot. Good eyes by Serena Hanneberg. Moses Lake gets it across, back to the back line. Anderson to Sugg, to Hallberg!
Wow.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Yes, while Demery Sugg will try to wrap it up here. 24-21 could be set points. Back line, and that one's just about set over. Licken says, okay, I'll just touch it. And that's the points, and that is the set. I'm sure. And the service. Back line, it's in! And that's the set for Wenatchee. Panthers take care of Moses Lake in quick fashion here in the second set. 25-11 the final in that one. And no, right into the net it goes. That was 2 in a row for her.
That was.
25-16 is our final in the third set, as Wenatchee sweeps Moses Lake and they wrap up the number 2 seed in the Big Nine. They will have a first round bye and get ready for the district tournament at West Valley to try to make it to the state 4A championships.
Nicely done, Panthers. Also last night, again, this is the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard. Eastmont shuts out Sunnyside 3-0 with a sweep. The Wildcats ensure a home court play-in game on the first day of November. Chelan, no problems with Okanagan. Cascade over Omak. Aniad over Pateros, 3-1. The Tigers remain undefeated. They wrap up at least a share of the regular season league title. Congratulations to the Tigers. Waterville-Mansfield and a nail-biter over Bridgeport. In slow-pitch softball yesterday, Wenatchee sweeps Eisenhower at Wenatchee Valley College's softball field. That ensures them the regular season Big Nine title. Coming up today in high school football, Aniad is at Columbia, 2 o'clock. Kickoff there. That's early on a Friday. Moses Lake is at Wenatchee, as I mentioned, is homecoming for the Panthers. You can watch the game live here on the NCW Live channel. Eastmont travels down to Yakima to take on Davis. Chelan is at Kashmir. The battle for the bronze shoe tonight in Kashmir. By the way, it is homecoming, and our own Eric Granstrom will be there with his camera. We'll have highlights on Monday of that classic battle. Cascade is at Okanagan. Manson will be at Liberty Bell, and Waterville-Mansfield is at Brewster. That is today. Coming up on Saturday in soccer, there's your schedule there. The one I do want to point out is a non-league match. Eastmont will be at Kashmir at 11 a.m. tomorrow. You might want to check that out. And then you see the rest of the scores, of course. By the way, the Central Washington Bee League Championship Cross Country meet is at Liberty Bell tomorrow at 11 a.m. The Wenatchee Wild start a 2-night run at the Town Toyota Center tonight. BCHL Hockey, the Surrey Eagles in town tonight. Penticton will be in town tomorrow night. Of course, our checker will be in just about a half an hour or a little less than that to talk about the games and the promotions this weekend. The diaper toss is Saturday, and they're going to do the Pink at the Rink painting party on Sunday. That and a whole bunch more with Arch here in just a few minutes. To the college gridiron we go. It'll be a rock'em sock'em football war when North Alabama comes up to town to take on Central Washington and Ellensburg. Eastern Washington is at Southern Utah. Colorado is at Washington State. The Cougars try to bounce back from last week's dismal loss to Cal. Washington will take on the Fightin' Buys. Seahawks returned from a bye last week. They'll be in New York on Sunday, well, New Jersey specifically. Kickoff for Seattle's game with the Giants, 1:25. It'll be on CBS. The rest of the NFC West. Arizona is in Los Angeles for an early West Coast kickoff. That's right, 10 a.m. in L.A. It'll be a partial sellout at the Coliseum, and the 49ers will host Dallas. That'll be on Fox. The Dodgers are back in the World Series for the first time in 29 years. Enrique Hernandez had an historic night for L.A. He hit 3 home runs, drove in 7 RBIs. The Dodgers shut down Chicago 11-1. Clayton Kershaw got all the run support he needed with 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 5 in the third, and 2 more in the fourth. Gave up just 1 run through 6 innings. Justin Turner and former Mariner Chris Taylor sharing MVPs of the National League Championship Series. Who will Los Angeles play? We'll know by Monday. Hopefully, we'll know by tomorrow. New York has a chance to clinch the American League Championship in Game 6 tonight in Houston. They're up 3-2. Luis Severino will take the mound for the Yanks. Justin Verlander for the Astros. If Houston wins, Game 7 would be Saturday night at Minute Maid Park. Tonight's game, by the way, is on FSN. Go Yankees. I made no apologies about being a Yankee fan. It is 25 after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day today. Today is Waiters Day, Waiters Appreciation Day, National Waiters Day. One of the toughest jobs you can think of is waiting on other people. Thanks for the food. We appreciate it. But it's so much more than that to be a waiter. It's a tough job. I'm a notorious over-tipper because I respect waiters and waitresses who do a good job, no question about it. If I'm in a nice restaurant and you see me sitting there, you'll want to wait on me because regardless of how good the food is, I'm going to over-tip you. Appreciate waiters and waitresses today on this National Waiters Day. It is October 20th and it's time for Today in History. 297 years ago, October 20th, 1720, they finally got Calico Jack. The pirate Calico Jack was captured by the Royal Navy. He was the most notorious pirate in his time. Calico Jack is remembered for two things. Number one, what you see right there, the Jolly Roger flag was designed by the first mate of his crew. And also, Calico Jack's crew had two female crew members, which was pretty rare for 1720. Capturing Calico Jack was pretty easy. They were in harbor, they were in port, they were in anchor, they were on shore, and Calico Jack and his crew were drunk, so they couldn't really defend themselves. The Royal Navy just pretty much showed up and took care of them. It's easy to capture your pirates when they are not sober. It happened on this date 297 years ago. Strange accident, tragic accident 41 years ago today in 1976. The ferry Prince George was struck by a ship while crossing the Mississippi River in Louisiana. 78 passengers and the entire crew of the ferry died. Only 18 people aboard the ferry survived, and those were the ones who could see the accident coming, so they were braced for it. The people on the other side of the ferry who did not see the ship coming, it just went right over the top of it, and down it went. Strange accident. As it turns out, after all the investigation was done, the crew of the ferry, all 5 of them, were under the influence of alcohol. And 40 years ago today, you would think when you got on board a plane and you're flying from point A to point B, there is a set destination, that set airplane has enough gasoline and fuel to get you from point A to point B. That did not happen to Leonard Skinner 40 years ago today. Their plane crashed in a densely wooded thicket in the middle of a swamp in Mississippi because the plane ran out of gas. Ronnie Van Zant, Steve Gaines, Cassie Gaines, the manager Dean Kilpatrick, and both crew members were killed in the accident, and the rest of the band was seriously injured. Yes, the plane crash was caused because the plane ran out of fuel. 27 minutes after the hour, birthdays. The most famous public address announcer of all time. I've done a lot of public address work over the years, but Bob Shepard is the standard bearer. Bob Shepard, the voice of Yankee Stadium for 56 years, was born in the state in 1910, passed away in 2010 at the age of 99. Reggie Jackson called him simply the voice of God. Carl Yastrzemski once said, "You're not in the big leagues until Bob Shepard announces your name." Bob Shepard, the PA voice for the New York Yankees and the New York Jets for 56 years, born in this state in 1910. Speaking of Yankee legends, Mickey Charles Mantle was born in the state in 1931. Greatest switch hitter in baseball history, no question about that. Baseball Hall of Famer, 1974, 20 times an All-Star, 3 American League MVPs. He won the 1956 Triple Crown and 7 World Championships. Mickey Mantle, an American baseball icon, born in the state in 1931, passed away at the age of 63, way too young, back in 1995. Jerry Orbach, the great actor Jerry Orbach, the American actor and singer. He was a huge guy on Broadway, great singer, was in all kinds of musicals and plays from the 50s all the way into the 90s. But of course, we all remember him as Lenny Briscoe on Law and Order. Jerry Orbach was born in the state in 1935, passed away of prostate cancer at the age of 69 about 12 years ago. And speaking of passing away, we just lost this guy, of course, a couple of weeks ago, Tom Petty. Tom Petty, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, class of 2002, member of the Traveling Wilburys, a great songwriter, a great guitarist, a dynamic band leader, innovative, the American rock and roll legend, Tom Petty, who of course passed away earlier this month at the age of 66. He would have been 67 years old today. 30 minutes after the hour. Wow, we're just flying through this Friday, the 20th day of October. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. Mike is politically confused. We'll find out what that's all about. And then we have 2 interview segments for the second part of the show. Pastor Matt from Trinity Church and Father Usmar of St. Joseph's Catholic Church will be dropping by to talk about Make a Difference Day. And then Arch Ecker will be here live to talk Wenatchee Wild Hockey. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee. We'll be right back.
gonna do on our girls' night out?
We should go to Club Crow. The bar and grill in Kashmir?
Yeah, let's go.
Looking for a fun-filled, friendly hometown atmosphere? Club Crow Bar and Grill in Kashmir is the place to be. Hi, this is Justin. Here at Club Crow, we have full bar and restaurant, live music, a dance floor, pool tables, pull tabs, and live jam sessions the first Sunday of every month. Club Crow in Kashmir, the coolest place in town.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by First Choice Collision Center. Mini Maker Fair is a gathering of fascinating, curious people of all ages who enjoy learning and sharing what they can do. From engineers to artists to scientists to crafters, Mini Maker Fair is a venue for these makers to show hobbies, experiments, and projects. Glimpse the future and get inspired October 21 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
The 2017 Ski-Doo Summit sleds. Next generation REV platform. The most powerful two-stroke engine in the industry. For the unmatched handling and power to own the next side hill, the next drop, the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next.
Who had the reception, and now he collects the touchdown. Got on goal, Wenatchee scores. Wigan lines up the three. Yes! Oh my goodness! Figure out where the line is, where they'll cover from. West fighting on the bottom, and he got the pin. Swung on and hit hard to left field. Caught out there in left field. The shot is scored! And Wenatchee Valley wins it!
On the NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
It's a spectacular good time all month long in Kashmir. Scarecrows will be waiting for you throughout the town. Silly ones, spooky ones, and everything in between. Yes, it's Scare Crazy in Kashmir. Bring the family and find the scarecrows all around Kashmir. And be sure to stop by these fine sponsors. The Antique Mall at Kashmir. Come find your treasure. And Club Crow Bar and Grill, home of the blues, brews, and barbecue. There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, like I've said before, 75% of us folks here in the good old US of A call ourselves Christian. Well, that's fine, I guess, but what's really tragic is that there are people who don't realize that the true test of loving and sacrificing for others and doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, etc., that's first and foremost to be displayed at home, to your family. You know, it really doesn't matter who outside your family thinks you're a wonderful person. If your spouse and your kids don't think so, or if your parents and siblings think you're a jerk, you're missing it as far as your Christianity and your love for your fellow man is concerned. If it isn't first and foremost demonstrated to those closest to you, let's face it, it's meaningless. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. When you think of Alpine Air in Wenatchee, think of professional, friendly customer service for all your heating and cooling needs. Alpine Air partners with Carrier, manufacturers of some of the best heating and air conditioning equipment available today. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Visit our store in Wenatchee, meet our people, see our shop. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive two-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street, It's closer than you think.
Ladies of the Wenatchee Valley, do you know the secret of receiving the perfect gift for your birthday, anniversary, or Christmas? We have the answer for you at Collins Fashions. Come in and fill out a wish list. You can choose from beautifully crafted jewelry, handbags, and luggage from Brighton, stylish wallets and handbags from Lotus, cozy sweaters from Icelandic, zip fleece from Tommy Bahama, fashions from Joseph Ribko, and Collins gift cards. Our little elves can contact your loved ones and share your wish list. Complimentary gift wrap and amazing service at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. A couple of weeks ago, Pastor Matt reached out to me and said, I have a topic for you that I think you and your listeners would find quite enlightening, entertaining, and informative. Pastor Matt, I'll let you take it from there. Talk about our little conversation and bringing in the Good Father and what we're going to talk about here in the next 10 minutes.
Sure. Well, this conversation started 500 years ago when a Catholic monk and professor named Martin Luther tried to reform the church by writing 95 ideas or theses and pounding them on the door of the Wittenberg church in a hope to make the church think through some things. Sadly, it led to a split in the church, and 500 years later, we're thinking about how to remember both the blessing and the challenges that have come since that point. So I thought, why don't I call my local Catholic priest and say, Father, how do we remember this together in a way that respects our differences, but lets unity grow? So you very graciously said, well, okay, what is this? And then had us over to his home to have breakfast together.
This is what happened 500 years ago. Is a fascinating story. Regardless of your spirituality, everybody should know about this, shouldn't they? Just the basic knowledge of Martin Luther and what he did. It should be remembered that the Roman Catholic Church 500 years ago was extremely, it was all-encompassing, was it not? I mean, didn't they almost run society as a whole? Father, address that.
Yes, it was. It was during the time also that the Catholic Church was beginning the journey toward America. And during that time of the Reformation, we got all the Spanish missionaries go to South America, and also some of the English ones coming to North America during that time too. So that's why we have different flavors within the Catholic Church from the South and the North. The time, since we were part of the Roman Empire before that, so that kind of opened up more opportunities for the Catholic Church to have more influences in the world that we knew at the time.
Now, you're going to do something on the 28th, and we'll talk about that shortly. What is going on from a national and international basis in regards to the Protestants and Catholics in observing the 500th anniversary of the Theses?
There is a common hunger to be united in any way that we can be. We recognize that we think differently on some things, but we're finding that there is more to be united around than divided. So whether it's our current Pope or ecumenical movements around the world, Christians are discovering if we can return to what Jesus said about loving God, loving our neighbor as he intended, we can be family again. Now that's going to take time, and we hope to be part of that process.
Father, give me an example of where followers of the Roman Catholic Church and followers of Protestantism are absolutely in lockstep and there's no disagreement on anything. Give me a couple examples where there's no issues at all between the two churches.
Well, our essential belief that Jesus is our Savior, that he came to bring us together as one family so that we could work for a common purpose, for our common good. He taught us also to have compassion and mercy as part of loving one another, especially for the most vulnerable. And we see a lot of work going on in every church on that. We know that our responsibility is to show our faith in action, in the way that we take care of one another, in the way that we pray for one another, in the way that we support one another. I think that the differences are more on the doctrinal side, and like for us, looking at how close we are with the Lutheran Church now, the one thing remaining is basically a better understanding and appreciation of the Eucharist. Then almost everything else we agree on. The importance of Scripture, which was one of the issues for Martin Luther, the issue of grace and faith in our lives, we all agree on it. We justify by faith. We agree with that. We had always believed that there have been different misunderstandings and malinterpretations along the way, but now with the new initiatives from the Vatican and also from the Lutheran Church, we have come to understand that indeed we believe the same thing in that.
Talk about Saturday, the 28th of October. You have something really special planned. Go ahead and mention that, Pastor.
We do. On the 28th at 10 o'clock at Metau Park, we have found common ground in this place where we'll do 4 things. We'll work together, cleaning the park. We'll play together. We got games where we'll be Catholics against Protestants, or maybe mixing teams to get along well, but something fun. Then we've chosen some songs that we like to sing together, so we can sing and pray. And then because all good worship and service leads to a meal, we're going to break bread and eat together at Old St. Joe's, or the community center, just kitty corner of the park. And that'll be a Mexican food that I'm not exactly sure what it is yet, but it'll be delicious.
I'm going to ask both of you the same question. I'll start with you, Pastor Matt. I get this especially from newcomers to the Wenatchee Valley. I was born and raised here. They come to the Valley, and one of the first things that they notice is there is a lot of churches in the Wenatchee Valley and in North Central Washington. There is a lot of denominations. Are we in the Valley proper? I'm talking about an especially spiritual, physical area. There's a lot of, regardless of where you want to find God, you got a lot of choices here in the Wenatchee Valley. Address that. There's a lot of churches. There's a lot of choices, a lot of churches, probably too many. I think that's actually more the fruit of consumerism and everybody wanting their own particular flavor of church. Now, I appreciate that because I don't want everything the same, but my time abroad in Scotland, where you had to just go to your one local church within that given parish, exposed some of the multiple choices we have here as maybe a potential weakness. But I do agree that this is a spiritual place. And I do believe that's partly because we're attached to the land, and we're people who care about what God has made. And as farmers, we recognize we have to grow what we eat. And so I think that's put people in touch both with the earth and the God who made it, and each other as neighbors, figuring out how to do this well. Father, same question. Is the Wenatchee Valley an especially spiritual place?
I believe so. I think that one of our challenges is to project in the way that we worship and pray a unity in purpose. We don't have to be in the same building, but we should be praying for the same thing and for the common good, for our salvation, so that we can have a life of virtue all across the board. It has been said by many theologians that on Sunday mornings, the body of Christ, the Church of God, is the most disunized, separated body that there is. And that is the challenge that we have. I believe that the separation is not that bad if we have a common purpose and intention in our prayer. And that's what we are trying to do here. There is more than unify us, than separate us. And we want to work to accomplish the dream of Jesus, that we are all one as He and His Father are one. And so to me, that is a beautiful challenge, a tough challenge, but it's a challenge that must embrace us all. We are all good people. We want good things for our people, for our community, for Wenatchee community at large. So I think that that's what God wants us to do at this point.
Last question. Protestants, Catholics, it doesn't really matter who, people who come to Met-How Park on Saturday, what do you want them to take away from the activities on the 28th? What do you want them, when it's all over and they go about their Saturday routine, what do you want people to take away from it?
Well, before this event was planned, we just began meeting together to know each other's neighbors, having coffee, praying for each other, learning what it's like to be a pastor, learning what it's like to be a priest. So I just got to know my neighbor. And out of that, this event came. If other neighbors in the area, Protestant, Catholic, or whatever, come, I want them to go face to face with someone to learn from and get to know better. None of us are proselytizing each other. None of us are trying to persuade each other. We're getting to know each other better. And that's the relational reformation that we pray happens the next 5 or 500 years. Ideas still matter, but this is the most important idea, I believe, for this time in our country's history.
Same question, Father, before we cut you loose. I know you're a busy guy. What do you want people to take away from the activities on the 28th?
Well, since we're commemorating the Reformation, our belief is that Martin Luther never intended to separate from the Catholic Church, but to reform it. And with this relational reformation, now with that approach, we want to go back to that, that we relate to one another, that we find common ground, and that we're not afraid of one another. Fear is always the result of not knowing, really. And if we know each other, like now with Pastor Matt, I know whom he is, I know his intentions, I know his heart, I can feel it myself, even though we haven't known each other for a long time, but we will know each other even better in the future. But I know enough to know that he is a person of God. I have no fear of him. And so I think that if everybody sees one another that way, we will come together and we will fulfill Jesus' dream that his church, his body, will be one.
I'll let you have the last word, Father Osmar. Thank you for being on the show, Pastor Matt. I appreciate it as well. Thanks for reaching out to me. This was a great conversation. I appreciate it. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. We'll be right back.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by First Choice Collision Center. Make a difference Saturday, October 28 from 9 a.m. to noon by joining Wenatchee River Institute to help spruce up Barn Beach Reserve in Leavenworth. Projects planned include tree trimming, pruning, raking, garden debris removal, and painting. Tools are provided, and be sure to bring gloves. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
I'm Eric Grandstrom, host of Let's Learn here on the NCW Life channel, a program where we learn about different topics. And on this particular series, it's Death and Die. It's a conversation that no one wants to have, but we're going to have it right here on the NCW Life channel. So you're dead. Now what? We're going to learn all about the choices you have and the decisions you need to make. It's Let's Learn on the NCW Life channel.
"49 minutes after the hour, we are back live here from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee. Dan Koontz, and you know this guy, our checker, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, who, by the way, you are dressed to the nines today. You look good.
Well, thank you. I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
We're going to talk wild hockey, obviously, in just a little bit, but you are a native of Southern California. You are an unabashed Dodger fan. I know you had nothing to do with it, but congratulations.
Well, how do you know I had nothing to do with it?
Or did you have something to do with the Dodgers winning the pennant?
No, but you don't know that.
That's true. I don't know that.
You know, like when Magic Johnson called me up and he goes, "Man, I got this dude. He's kind of hairy. Wears number 22. He's got a pretty good curve, but I don't know. He wants a lot of money." I said, "Pay the man. Keep him on the roster." He did, and the rest is history. Dodgers are going to the series.
Dodgers are going to the series for the first time
Magic.
since 1988, 29
Yeah.
years.
I had nothing to do with that one, though.
No, he had nothing. So anyway, I just want to congratulate you.
Thank
and,
you.
And if all the planets align and my Yankees make it, then that is a dream World Series for me. The two iconic franchises in Major League Baseball, the Yankees and the Dodgers in the World Series. We're not there yet. Yankees
Not
aren't
there
there
yet.
but it would be heaven for me. I think you and I can do one of those crazy bets too.
We really could. I think
Yeah.
we should. I think we shall.
We shall.
Next week, I think we're doing a Skype thing, aren't we? I'll be
Yeah,
up
we're
in,
Skyping because you're going to be on the road and we're going to
Yeah.
do a Skype thing. And we'll,
Perfect.
and by that time, of course, we'll know who'll be in the World
We'll
Series.
be a couple games in by then.
That's right. So, enough baseball talk. It's hockey season. Surrey tonight, Penticton tomorrow night. Two of the finest franchises in the British Columbia Hockey League, and they've proved their mettle over the years. Let's talk Surrey first. What can you tell me?
Well, the Surrey Eagles, they're a team that's kind of struggled a little bit out of the gate. They did bring some veteran presence back. They got a new head coach, so they're trying to change things up a little bit. They were really kind of towards the bottom of the heap last year, and they were fighting for one of the last playoff spots. I mean, they're better than they were last year. There's no doubt, but it's going to be a good matchup. It'll be a good test. And then of course Penticton coming tomorrow night. I mean, those guys have set the bar pretty high. I mean, year after year, they are consistently at the top of their division, consistently a formidable foe, and they continue to move guys on, which is the reason for junior hockey to exist. I mean, they just continually put guys in school, and the Wild obviously have done very well at that also. But Penticton has, even when they weren't in our division, we only saw them once or twice a year. Well, once at home and once away. Our fans tended to gravitate toward that matchup because they could just sense that it was something special. And now that we're in the same division with Penticton, we'll see them 6 times, 3 home, 3 away this year. So it really sets up for what should be a lot of fun.
And they bring a lot of fans, Penticton does, over the last few years, since the team joined the British Columbia Hockey League. They bring a Rooter bus down, and they sit behind the bench, and they cheer for their Vs, and they make it vocal. So our fans have some work to do Saturday night.
They do, and I think they will. And Saturday we're doing a nice little project with Junior League. We've got the diaper and undie toss. And as weird as it sounds, I mean, I know we do the teddy bear toss, and everybody thinks about, well, teddy bears, they're cute and fluffy and all that, but then they're like, diapers and undies, what's the deal? But realistically, there is a legitimate need for those things. There are people that are in need of those products, and they don't come free. You can't just go down and grab them off any shelf and take them home with you. You need somebody to kind of help out, and that's what we're doing, the diaper and undie toss. When the Wild score their first goal on Saturday night, then fans will be throwing those prepackaged, brand new diapers and undies out on the ice. They'll be collected and then distributed to those folks in our community that need them. And it's just a nice feel-good event that touches an area that sometimes gets overlooked.
Yeah, and if you haven't been to a grocery store lately or a pharmacy or whatever, diapers are expensive.
Boy, they
Not
are,
cheap.
I mean, my kids are long grown and they were expensive then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're not.
And you hit on a very good point. I mean, you have a newborn baby and this new life, and you're totally responsible for it. Then all of a sudden you have to realize I got to change diapers 5-6 times a day, and you start going through diapers like crazy, and it could really kill a budget, especially if you're having a hard time making ends meet.
Well, and the sad reality of it is that sometimes families end up in situations where they start having to make some difficult choices. It's like, do I buy formula or do I buy diapers? I got this much money until Friday. You know what? And that shouldn't happen in our society. And that's why drives like this, and it's not just us that do it. I mean, there's obviously others, but we were approached about being a vehicle to help facilitate it. And we stepped right up and said, absolutely, we would love to be a part of that because it's a need that we can help with, and we want to be a part of it.
It's funny you bring that up because we've been profiling a lot of Make a Difference Day projects, and a lot of people are doing raffles and drawings and things like that. You guys are all over the place. Walt the Wolf is going to be at the People's Bank parking lot on 9th Street here in Wenatchee on the 28th, along with the Apple Sox Coyote. And you guys have donated all kinds of things, from jerseys and tickets to almost every nonprofit in the valley. You guys are a soft touch. Hello, Wenatchee Wild. Can we have some tickets? Sure.
Well, I mean, it's all part of being involved in a community. I mean, we're not here to take from the community. We're here to be a functional part of the community. That means give some, that means get some. People come to our games and support our program and help our players advance, which is our goal. And we also like to give back. Our players donate hundreds of hours. I mean, we're in schools, we're in the senior center, events like you talked about. You know, it's a symbiotic relationship. It has to be that way. And we love to give as much as we love to have to put on an entertaining product for people to come enjoy. So it's been working out. I mean, this is our 10th year here in Wenatchee, and so obviously something's going right.
Surrey tonight, Penticton tomorrow, and then on Sunday, no hockey, but something very, very special is going to happen on Sunday. We're painting the rink pink.
Yeah, paint the ice pink. You know, it's not a brand new idea. It has been done in other markets. Of course, you know, it's just like radio, right?
Yeah.
They say, you know, nothing's new. People just kind of borrow from other areas. But, you know, this one, as you take a look at the video here, you'll see what happens. We invite the public. Anyone can come in. There's no charge. We provide the paintbrushes. We provide the paint. And we invite folks to come in, and they're invited to go ahead and write whatever they want to write on the ice, write the names of people in their lives that have been touched or affected by cancer, and it stays on there. Now, what they're able to do to keep this is they shave the ice down. Now, people don't always realize, but that ice, it's about an inch or so thick, right? And it's cooled from the bottom through piping that's in the concrete. Well, what they do is they shave it down a bit, and then they set it. Then people can come in and paint. So you'll see there's a guy kind of wandering around. He's got one of those little misting buckets, and he's misting over the top of the paint, and that kind of helps lock it in. And then they'll gently continue to build those layers. Then as they go across, then eventually you can start running the Zamboni over it. And the Zamboni at that point isn't cutting the ice anymore, it's flooding. So what it'll do is just help build the ice back up, so then you get a thin layer of protective ice over the painted names. So that way, as gameplay occurs, guys can go and skate and cut across it, and then they can come resurface it, and it doesn't damage the locked-in paint. It stays there, and it'll be there all throughout the week until the following Saturday when we have our actual Pink at the Rink game, which is the 28th against the Alberni Valley Bulldogs.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm assuming a very good, again, we talk about the wild paying it forward. I'm assuming there's a really good group that's going to be benefiting from all this, not only from the rink thing on Sunday, but on the 28th.
Yeah, Wellness Place has been, I mean, I don't think you can live here for very long without understanding or hearing about what Wellness Place does in this community and what they mean to people. You know, and again, they're one of those places I think that people are aware of until it touches their lives personally, and then they become extremely aware of the breadth and the depth of what that organization does for people. It's not just giving people, you know, a place to be comfortable, but they'll help with, you know, your family comes in and they want to see someone in there, they'll help with gas cards, they'll help with things that you don't think about, but they do. And, you know, they need all the support and assistance from the community to thrive and continue to provide those services as well. And so we're very happy to be able to pair up with Erin and her staff out there at Wellness Place to help benefit them through this event.
And not only that, but a couple of days ago I went and did a story at the Pybus Market about the bra chandelier that's been hanging up in the center of the Pybus Public Market for the month of October. On the 27th, they're going to take that down and they're going to move it over to the Town Toyota Center. So if you have not seen the bra chandelier for whatever reason, it's pretty cool. It's going to actually be at the Town Toyota Center on the 28th on display there.
Yeah, just another part of the whole picture. You know, it's, I mean, yeah, there's a hockey game going on, but that's you know, well, I guess for the guys it's not secondary, but as far as overall importance, I mean, it's one of our 28 games, but for the people who are benefiting from this, it's a big red letter day on the calendar, one that's circled and looked forward to from year to year. So, you know, anything that we can do, like you said, like bringing the bra chandelier, it's just something that helps enhance the event overall. The guys are going to be wearing pink-themed jerseys as well, not the exact same as last year, but in a similar mode, and they'll be auctioned off after the game, which again helps to benefit the cause.
We got about 30 seconds. One thing we haven't touched on, what time Sunday at the Town Toyota Center? When do people show up and how long does it last? Do you know that?
It runs from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. There's no charge. People are invited to just show up. We'll give you everything you need. We got the paint brushes and the paint. All you have to do is just bring your heart and your paint skills and go to town.
And keep in mind, it is cold on the ice surface, so make sure you dress appropriately as well. If you show up in jeans and if you show up in shorts and a t-shirt, you're going to be a little chilly. All right,
and your flip-flops like Dan did.
Yeah, no brains, no headaches. Arch, have a great weekend. Go Wild.
Go Wild.
Surrey tonight, Penticton tomorrow night. Everybody have a great weekend. High school football tonight live. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Cha-cha-cha.